thought it'd be fun to take a look at the top 10 Dynasty running backs heading into 2019 from a point per reception and startup Dynasty perspective. Right now we're looking at the Dynasty running back rankings. I'm going to isolate out and focus on the running backs only. I've dragged them around a little bit so that we can have some fun pulling them up and down and rising and falling some of these guys. So heading into 2019 startup drafts, as if you're drafting right now, a fresh league, point per reception moving forward from this moment on in Dynasty, I think Todd Gurley's a pretty safe #1 overall pick. You can make an argument for Barkley. You can make an argument for a couple guys, but I think that Todd Gurley, despite the heavy workload that he's had the last few years, is showing no signs of slowing down for the next 2-3 years. And I think in that offense is built perfectly for the running back to score a ton of fantasy points. He's a touchdown machine and essentially matchup proof, given how well that offense can spread the ball around and keep defenses on it. So I think by far he's going to remain the lead candidate heading into 2018 in almost all formats. Saquon Barkley and Alvin Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott, Le'Veon Bell, all these guys have an argument to be made for that #2 spot, but I think we're watching the rising of a running back that's going to potentially be a top 5 to 10 or top 1 to 5 running back for 5 to 10 years. So I think Barkley, there's some offensive limitations, there's some quarterback concerns for the future, but for the most part, I think we're seeing a star that is of the Todd Gurley caliber. And I think these two guys probably, maybe Ezekiel Elliott will join them, but these two guys will probably be a tier above the rest when it comes to that #1 overall pick and who you're going to take. I think Zeke Elliott deserves to be at that #3 spot at the current moment. I think that he just gets so much volume. He seems consistent. He seems like he can stay healthy for multiple years. He's not the kind of guy I worry about week in and week out on injury report. And I think the volume will be there for him in Dallas moving forward. Alvin Kamara seems to be the matchup-proof kind of guy that I think can get you, even if Breeze declines a little bit, let's say after about a year from now, the Saints will move the ball enough on offense to make Alvin Kamara as valuable as he is today for several years to come. These next spots in the 5, 6, 7 range are really tough because you got guys like David Johnson that I think talent-wise by far and away is the next guy on my list, but you have a situation that determines a lot in fantasy football. So is he going to remain a top 5 guy for several years to come? Will there be a delay in him getting back into that top 5, or will that offense find a way to get him the football better? Keep in mind that Todd Gurley struggled really bad 2 years ago. This year and the year prior, he's been dominant, but there was a lot of Todd Gurley's a bust. Todd Gurley's no longer a top 10 overall pick. People forget. People have short memories for how down everybody was on Todd Gurley. So I think it's a mistake to write off David Johnson completely as a top 5 overall running back heading into the future. But there's definitely an argument to be made that Melvin Gordon deserves that 5 spot. So I'm going to rank Gordon above David Johnson, but I'm going to put David Johnson in the top 6 because the talent's there. And Josh Rosen can move the football enough that I feel comfortable with David Johnson having a better workload and usage moving forward in 2019 and beyond. Le'Veon Bell's the real wild card in this group right now because if you sign somewhere great, like let's say he lands in Indianapolis, he could jump all the way up to the 3, the 4 spot. Most likely he's going to be in the 4 spot, even in a good location. But currently he sits right here because we don't know what's going to happen with Le'Veon Bell. We don't know where he's going to land. Will he be a workhorse wherever he goes? Will he choose a bad destination? Is there more drama to follow? We just don't know. But Le'Veon Bell, with the upside and appeal, deserves to be in that 7 spot with the potential to move up at least 3 entire spots with a good landing spot in 2019 free agency. James Conner, question mark right now. So I think it's hard to rank him anywhere near this #7 or 8 spot, given you got Christian McCaffrey, given you got Dalvin Cook, who's looking healthy again. You have Mark Ingram, you have Nick Chubb emerging, Tarek Cohen. But I think Dalvin Cook and McCaffrey are very, very solid 8 and 9 spots for the top 10 running backs moving forward. Now, this is where I think you could argue any one of these guys, Chubb, Connor, Ingram, Mixon, Fournette, which honestly, I still doubt for the long term, given his injury history. So for me, Fournette's ranking down around that spot. I'll even put Cohen over Fournette, and I'd even put Lindsey over Fournette. You might call me crazy, but I was called crazy when I called him the biggest bust of 2018. And after Derrick Henry's 200-plus effort and 4 touchdowns, where does he rank? Top 5 to 10 or top 10 to 12? I think debating this 10th spot would be fun. If you could comment below, subscribe, and let's get the conversation going about the top 10 Dynasty running backs heading into 2019 and beyond.